Some ninjas get some new releases. Here's your look at the new NECA toys. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo and Donatello. After being accidentally exposed to radioactive ooze, 4 ordinary household pets are transformed into a band of wisecracking, pizza-loving, villain-dicing adolescent reptiles. Meet Leonardo, the super-cool sword-wielding leader. Raphael, the jokester hurling manholes and one-liners in rapid succession. Donatello, the brain behind the brawn. And Michelangelo, the ice cream pizza-gobbling party animal. Whether it's facing fierce enemies or saving humanity from near extinction, with the guidance of their sensei, these heroes in a half-shell are always ready for straight out of the sewer action. Before we get down to having a look at some turtles, the first thing we're going to do is 2 things, if the mob will permit me. The first thing we're going to do, obviously, is the first thing we always do in these reviews, is measure off to the tops of the turtles. I'm probably only going to do Leonardo because the height of the turtles won't change. The figures themselves are utilizing pretty much the exact same molds other than just really the heads. So we're going to do the measurement there. The other thing, because I did say 2 things, the other thing I'd like to do is send out a big thank you to the folks over at NECA Toys for providing a whole bunch of turtle figures that we're going to be having a look at in some upcoming videos. That being said, Leonardo and carbon copying that over to Donatello, both figure turtles stand at 5.6 inches in height, a little over 5.5 inches. And that works out in centimeters right there. I almost missed it again. 14.4, almost 14.5 centimeters tall. Just going to go ahead and move Donatello out of the way for 1 split second. And we're going to bring in one of the turtles I have available just at the time being. This happens to be Leonardo, and a good example why you can see left to right how much the new re-released turtles change from their original counterparts. The turtles here on the right, specifically Leonardo, is very much the colors that I would expect from the early episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Turtle Tracks and all the earlier miniseries, and really even like leading up to some of the newer episodes, they seem to have kind of this darker color scheme. NECA Toys, for their re-release, however, have given us these new vibrant colored turtles. I guess you could say really late into the series they probably have gone a little bit greener in colors, and some of the video game counterparts, the turtles are much greener. But you can see the difference really between the 2 turtles. It's not simply just a case that they've repacked them. However, they did do what they did do, though. It was repack the turtles together. If you had watched the review, please check those out if you'd like to watch extensive reviews of the earlier Turtle 2-packs. But those turtles came with a turtle, and then they came with a non-turtled figure, whether it be a foot soldier, Shredder, for example. They were packaged, like I said, they weren't packaged together. Here in this re-release, however, you're getting yourself the best of both worlds. You get really essentially in 2 packs, not these specific 2 packs, but in 2 packs like these, you're managing to still get all 4 turtles without having to buy the individual sets. The other 2 packs, which we will be having a look at, is the Foot Soldier 2-pack, and the one I'm really looking forward to, the Bebop and Rocksteady 2-pack, which will be coming up in a future review. Now, there is a fair bit to take in for all the accessories that come included with the figure, so we'll probably want to get right down to that right now. Of the things that will be packaged behind the turtles, there's going to be like a clear baggie, and let me show you what's going to be happening inside of that. One thing is we have the ransom letter. Now, I want to state, when you do get this out of the packaging, it looks like this. It's supposed to look like crumpled up paper, and it's actually just made of crumpled up paper. It says, we have the newsgirl come to the taffy factory and at midnight and bring the buff links. And again, it looks just like the cartoon. It's, like I said, in a crumpled state. So don't be surprised when you do get this out of the packaging that it looks like this, very crumpled and, like I said, all very wrinkly and stuff like that. The other cool thing it comes included with, and certainly would love the idea branching out from these figures, is eventually doing myself up like a little turtle layer diorama, to which maybe I'll put this one right out. This is the Turtle Blimp schematics or blueprints. I was like saying schematics. I never get the opportunity in these reviews to really use the word schematics, so I'm going to use schematics instead of blueprints. This is the Turtle Blimp. Ironically enough, this has one sentimental thing, some sentimental meaning to me at least, is when I was younger and I had the money from my paper route to pick up a turtle vehicle. I had the option of the turtle van and had the option of the turtle blimp. I don't really know why, to this day, I decided to go the blimp instead of the turtle van, but that's ultimately what I landed with. Disappointed later after the fact. I should have really gone with the van. So really looking at the blimp is a harsh reminder of bad decisions made as a child. This is again done in a folded up nature. Actually, when you do get this out of the packaging, it's folded up and it just involves you opening it back up. It's just simply, again, paper. Laminated slightly. It's got a bit of a sheen coat to the front of it, but it's just literally paper. Speaking of also things that are just paper, they also come included with this, sort of a cardboard cutout of Bebop. This will be fully realized, of course, when we have a look at the Bebop Rocksteady 2-pack, and I'm super excited for that. But essentially, this is just a cardboard standee. You just fold out the back feet, struts, and it somewhat holds itself. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just move one of the turtles out of the way. We'll put Bebop right there. It kind of leans to the side. It's just the way that they've put the struts. They're on an angle and they're slightly more off to the side that results in kind of having Bebop leaning a little bit off to the side. So again, there's not really much to be said for that. Literally, it's just a cardboard cutout of Bebop. But it's really nicely detailed. I mean, it does look like it was pulled right from the actual cartoon. But like I said, it's just a cardboard cutout. There's nothing too much exciting about that, especially when you get the real Bebop physically in hand. Let's have a look at some of the other things coming included with the figures. I'm really excited for this. It's a box of pizza. Specifically, it's a box of pizza from Ninja Pizza, home of the nice slice. You can see it looks just like it did in the cartoon, with the katana blades not quite slicing their way through the pizza, but certainly in the background of the pizza. And you've got your slices inside. Now, what you could do, if you have one of the slices from one of the other packs, I just happen to have that, you could either put it on the edge, kind of giving you a three-dimensional look to it, or it could look like one of the turtles have just pulled it out. Now, granted, it's not as the same length. The standalone one was a little bit longer. But again, like it could look like it was pulled out of the pizza box. Speaking of the pizza box, though, one thing I will stress this to you, and stress being the operative word, the box is not intended to be closed. I almost had the quick assumption, being, so excited to take this out of the packaging, I immediately wanted to close the hinge. Well, I realized later, there is no hinge. It's intended to be opened like this. Part of me kind of hoped that it could have had a hinge, so you could have actually closed it, but the moment you start bending it, you start hearing that slight reminder, that little crack sound, and you're like, whoa, let's just stop for a second and rethink our options. So the pizza as a whole is decent enough. I just wish, again, like the box could have actually closed shut. So other things that come included with this particular 2-pack is a container of Mutagen ooze. And though the ooze is not leaking out, you could imagine some transformations that could have occurred if this was to leak and spill everywhere. It's been done in a very monotoned gray with some additional panel lining done to the sides. So again, just a nice little accompanying piece. I love when these turtles can come with these little extra pieces so that you can decide later on, if you wanted to, what you want to display the turtles with. Other things we can talk about as well are 2 turtle communicators. You get 2 versions of them. Now, these versions also would have been released with the 2-pack that we had gotten before. One is the closed-up, compacted version of the communicator, and one is the opened, extended, if you will, communicator. Very nicely detailed on both sides, finished and detailed on both sides, painted very nicely. And again, really nice the fact that they would include something like that with the turtles. Let's have a look at the weapons. Okay, so Leonardo comes with his twin katanas. And just doing a quick comparison with the Leonardo I just happen to have, here is the difference between the katana, there it is right there, the katana that came with old Leo, and the katana that comes with new Leo. Kind of favoring a little bit the brown handled and the silver or dark gray end pieces, or the ends of the hilt, versus the lighter color that they went with. But again, it kind of keeps to the color scheme of the more vibrant turtles that we've gotten in these 2 packs. I don't happen to have Donatello right now. I think Donatello just got stored away. But like the bow staff is really not that much different. Obviously the sculpting is going to be the same. The bow staff, from memory serves me, is just slightly darker than this. So there are the accessories. You also get a bunch of turtle hands. The benefit of these all being the same colored turtles is the fact that you're not limiting yourself to what hands have to go with which turtle. If this, for example, wants to be with Leonardo, why not? The high five hand? Sure, absolutely. Put that with Leonardo. You also do get a second, well, the other alternate hand on either side, of course, because hands have to be on both sides of the arms. He does come with the high five hands. High five. Turtle 5. Or Turtle 3, I suppose. And then the other thing he comes included with is just a bunch of gestured hands, which kind of actually look like the sai-holding hands for Raphael. Also come included with this figure as well. So those are your accessories. Extensive, yes, I know. And let's have a look at the turtles themselves. Now, we've already kind of had a look at these in the previous reviews. I'm just going to move all the accessories out of the way, just so I'm not taking anything away from the turtles themselves. But yeah, these are the same turtles as we gotten before. Let's bring in Leonardo once again. Keeping in mind, again, the colorings are going to be the consistent across the board from one turtle to the other. The new release turtles are going to have this color scheme. The older release turtles are going to have this color scheme to your left. The obvious one is obviously the colors, the darker colors on the older turtles versus the newer vibrant colors on the newest turtles. The emblems on the fronts are different. Now, dark black circles with white outlines versus the more cream colored or lighter gray color with the blue emblem, blue logo on the inside. Faces are the exact same. Shells are a little bit different in the sense that they are colored differently. You've got the more brown color on the original turtle, and you've got the lighter green color on the newer turtles. Straps, the harness that's going to hold the katanas, are the same as, at least from a mold standpoint, though you can't see, again, the coloring is different. The one thing that the older turtles did possess that newer turtles don't is this additional shading. You can see a very stark line kind of dividing parts of the turtle's body. The back of the head, for example, has a darker shade, as well as the bandana, and that also continues its way down the bicep, the forearm, and the backs of the legs. We've already kind of looked at all that extensively. The newer turtles won't have that, which I guess is a good thing. If you're looking for something just as an animated version of the turtles, without really bogging the figure down with some additional shading, these are good because they have the colors just across. There's, like, from the head, the arms, the legs, there's no additional shading happening here. It's just one straight out color, which does make it look more like the cartoon, even though the color combinations are a little bit more accurate on the original turtles. Like with the other turtles, I don't want to do comparisons back and forth, but you can take the katanas and you can wiggle them into the sheaths located on the back of Leo. Now, the thing about it is, I don't know if it's just become a little bit tighter, or I just need to work it in a little bit more so, but I do find, specifically with this Leo, that the openings here are very tight, very difficult to get the katanas in. I managed to get one in, but the other one is the real struggle. It's this one right over here. But it does allow a little bit of storage if you want to put the katanas out of his hands, so that Leo can maybe have his hands full of maybe his communicator or maybe a slice of pizza. But there's the option, the storage of the katanas the exact same way as the other turtles, just really, really tight. Like that face sculpt again on this particular Leo. I always kind of considered the sneer on both sides to be more something from Raphael, where Leo I kind of more pictured just as a closed mouth. Something, again, you might have expected maybe with, well, Donatello has that. Something I would expect more so, I think, with Leonardo. You got the really nice dark black panel lining going around the mouth, going around the teeth, going around in the individual gaps, all those gaps around each of the individual teeth. Panel lining also makes their appearances across the neck. Any basically areas that's got musculature, the muscles in the arms, the muscles in the legs are done in that panel lining. It's also done also here in the knees, the knee guards, the wrist bands, as well as the elbow pads located on the back. Articulation on Leonardo, his head rotates all the way around. I did notice, though, rotating the head, that it seems to kind of abruptly want to resist the urge to turn around. It doesn't seem like there's anything really stuck in the place or that the joint is just really tight. It just feels like when I'm turning the head, there's a little bit of resistance. You can move the head up and down. You can rock it back and forth. And as you probably already looked at, you can rotate the head all the way around. The bandana, you can also twist as well. Just if you wanted to, you can twist that around. Shoulders hinge outward. That would be the case on both arms. You can rotate them forward, you can rotate them back. Swivel at the elbow. Hinge, single hinge in the elbow. And you can also rotate the hands back and forth. Does not seem to possess a waist swivel, but the legs do split out on both sides. You can go forward on the leg, you can go back on the leg. Can't quite swivel too much anywhere on the thigh, just a little bit up at the top where it just connects to the ball joint. Single hinge on the knee, and then you've got articulation in the feet. Ankle pivots slightly, and you got peg holes on the undersides of Leo's feet. The hardest aspect of this is the fact that these are cases in which the turtles are packed together rather than having them packed with a foot soldier or packed with shredder, for example. So this is a case where looking at the turtles, really one is going to be no different than the other than, again, if you look at the two, the colors are really the only difference between the two, and the expressions on the face. Again, I kind of think that this would have been the better head sculpt for Leonardo, and maybe even given the grimaced face, although Donatello really doesn't work with a grimaced face either. I would have probably given them the same expression myself. There's not really much to be said for Donatello that we haven't already discussed extensively, I would think, with Leonardo. He does have the opening slot on the back where he can take his bow staff and slide that down. I have no problems whatsoever sliding that in place. The coloring I do actually like, don't get me wrong. The dark green I think worked better on the other turtles because they looked a little bit more like their original cartoon counterparts, but there's something to be said about the lighter lime-colored green, and equally so the dark green that they used for the shell. That definitely does make these ones, as a result of that, feel a little bit more like cartoon counterparts. Again, the fact that they do look, well, they're essentially the exact same mold left to right. There's not really a whole much more I can talk about Donatello that I really haven't talked about for Leonardo. At the end of the day, it's one blessing, I suppose, to this set release, is if you hadn't picked up the turtles initially, because I know with a lot of the turtle releases, they were kind of relegated to certain locations and certain shelf space areas in those stores. It may have resulted in you missing your chance to get them the first time around. I'm leaving a gap in the middle for a reasoning. If you did manage to miss out on the turtle in the first place, the darker colored turtles, you sort of get the second opportunity now to get these two packs, and these two packs really in two purchases, you can essentially pick up all four turtle brothers. The beauty of it, though, is for people like myself who managed to pick up, there you go, that darker colored turtle in the middle. Getting the re-released sets do give you something a little bit extra as a bonus, the fact that you do get a color variation to them. So I really like that NECA Toys catered to the fact of were individuals that missed out on the turtles the first go around, and then there were on the other end of the scale, the other argument was there was people that had already picked up the sets, and they made the sets still available for them in a different color variation to, of course, warrant the idea of picking up the figures if you had already got them the first time around. Now, all work and no play make Leonardo and Donatello dull turtles, so after a day of apprehending criminals, fighting ninjas, and battling anything that may be coming through Dimension X, they would have to unwind and enjoy a nice slice of ninja pizza. A nice inclusion by NECA Toys, by the way. Speaking of inclusion, these turtle brothers do get included with a fair bit of accessories. Of course, they have to get their stapled ninja weapons, but along with that, you get the mutagen canister, which is good. You get the turtle communicators, that's always good. And of course, you get yourself the box of ninja pizza, and that's really, really cool. Cool is also the fact that if you did pick up the original Turtle Brothers, you remember you had to get more of the sets to complete the 4 turtles. Here in this case, with the re-releases, once you get Leonardo and Donatello, you really only need to get one other set, the Michelangelo and the Raphael, to complete the quartet. Of course, once you get down that rabbit hole, you're not simply just going to be picking up the 4 turtles, you're going to be wanting to get all the other ones as well, because the turtle figures are that cool. Benefiting is also the fact that if you already had the other turtles, these vibrant green colors on the newer turtles, even though they don't feel as accurate to the cartoon, just for the fact that they are so bright and green and they don't have the additional shading, these ones just by that feel like they're more taken from the cartoon. So there's really, again, a lot of pluses for picking these ones up if you already had the other ones in your collection. For the future videos on this channel, of course, like I said, we are going to be having a look at the Michelangelo and Raphael 2-pack. We're going to be having a look at the Foot Soldier 2-pack, which really, in itself, the idea that we're getting an army building 2-pack of foot soldiers, I'm probably going to want to buy like 20 packs of those. And the much needed, the one I'm really excited to have a look at, is the Rocksteady and the Bebop. All those videos will be coming soon to this channel. If you manage to pick up these for yourself, let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of them, or based on this review and this review alone. If you are interested in watching the rest of the turtle reviews coming up, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure as well you hit that bell notification, and obviously make sure you're staying tuned, because there's going to be a whole bunch of turtle videos coming your way. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.